Hello everyone, LonestarK here, and today we're going to be making a cover for a ROM hack called Super Mario Bros. DX. And this is a ROM hack for the original Super Mario Bros. For the NES. If you're interested in getting this ROM hack, you can get it from romhacking.net. And we're going to be using the original Super Mario Bros. Cover, the US cover, just as a base, and I'm getting this from the Launchbox Games database. And in addition to that cover, we're also going to be using some nice artwork that was used on some of the European releases of the game, as well as the original Japanese box art. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to cut out a window, and I'm going to use a combination of the rectangular select tool and the lasso tool to try and get that triangular bottom. Okay, so we have our window cut out, but there is still a little bit of color bleed that's around the edges of the window, you can see here. So I've got an idea on how we can kind of fix that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use our fuzzy select tool to select the erase portion, the transparent portion of our image. And then I'm going to grow that selection by 1 pixel to encompass the color bled sections around the edges. And what I don't want to do exactly is erase all of that. It would give us a hard edge around the bottom portion, and it's not going to look exactly right. We want to make that that bottom edge a nice gradual edge rather than a hard one. So as you can see, this is what a hard one would look like, and we don't want that. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna use our colorize tool, and you can adjust the hue of these colors, but what we want is we just want the black. So what we're going to do is we're going to adjust the lightness portion of it. So the color bled edges will turn towards just a grayscale, but it'll preserve that gradual edge, as you can see here. So my thoughts on how I'm going to use this official Mario artwork within our black box window is I'm going to try to probably flip it and rotate it to where Mario's kind of running in the same orientation as the original pixel art that was on the original box. So what we're going to do first is we're just going to copy the image and we're going to paste it as a new layer. And then I'm going to go ahead and move it a little bit so we can see Mario on screen. And we're going to adjust it towards on the bottom layer. So now we can see how it's going to fit in our window. First, what we want to do is have Mario kind of facing in the same direction. So to do that, you're going to go up to layer, and then you're going to go down to transform, and we're going to flip it. Now we're going to use the scale tool. You click on here, and you want to make sure that that chain link is connected together. That way, when we modify want either the width or the height, it'll automatically adjust the other dimension. And I'm just kind of eyeballing it. We want to get Mario kind of maximized on the left hand side of this window. And that's about right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use a rotate tool. And I'm just going to rotate it. I'm just kind of eyeballing it here, about 20 degrees. And that looks pretty close. Mario's just a little too big here, so we're going to scale it down just a little bit more using our scale tool once again. Okay, so I think that's good. Mario's in a good position. He's a good size. Looks pretty good. Now we're going to start working on the logo, Super Mario Bros. And we're going to have to change it to Super Mario Bros. DX. But there's something wrong with the colors. You'll notice like Super Mario Bros. The colors in the Nintendo logo and the Entertainment System logo, the colors aren't right, and it could be part of the scan. Now I pulled this logo off of Launchbox. Somebody had extracted the logo off of one of the boxes. I'm assuming possibly one of the European boxes, which has this orange color. But we're going to use this as a base. You can see the Super Mario Bros. On this one is just a little too red. I don't like that, so we're going to go more with the orange. We could try to do the same color here, and I'll show you how to do that. So I use that color picker tool to pull the color off of our original box, and now we're going to select all the orange here. We just use our paintbrush tool, and you can see that gives it a little red, but I'm not really liking this red color for it. So I think we might go with that orange color. You can see that orange it's used in some of the European boxes and some of the other boxes around the world. And we're gonna go with that because I just don't like that red. There's too much slightly different shades of red, and with the Mario picture and the Nintendo logo as well. You can see that's a pretty good color difference there. This one, the color of the Nintendo just doesn't look right. And you can see how it's different. This one here, for one of the overseas boxes, the color of the Nintendo logo looks more correct. So I definitely think there's something wrong with the colors in that original scan of the US box. First thing we want to do is we're going to change our canvas size. We're going to make it bigger so that we can add the words DX. I'm thinking I'm going to add it in the same kind of tilt right behind Mario Bros. So I'm just going to make sure we have plenty of room. So I'm making the width 2000, the height 1000, and we're going to move our original image down to that bottom left corner. That'll give us plenty of space to add stuff on the top right side. So we're going to be using our text tool, and I'm just going to type in here DX, and I'm going to select all of it. I'm going to make it a little bigger so we can actually see it. Now comes the hard part. We have to find the text font that's going to, match fairly close with the Mario Bros font here. And sometimes, well, most of the time, I usually do some research online to find out what font certain boxes use. But today I just want to do a real quick video, so I'm not going to do a lot of research like I normally do. And I'm just going to scroll through my fonts here and find one that'll work. So I'm liking this Futura font that I found. It's not exactly the same, but it's got DX, this nice big and bold thick font. and it looks pretty good. Actually, it looks pretty good down below the main font, just like it is here, but if I keep it like that, I'd have to redesign the whole black box, and so I'm probably not going to do that because it's going to get in the way of that entertainment system portion. So I will have to find another font that's a little different, and we're going to try to slant it just like Mario Bros is slanted here. And this one's pretty close. It's the Futura Heavy font, so we're going to go with that. It's not perfect, but it's pretty close. So I'm going to make the D about the same size as this B here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the color so we can see it a little easier. Okay, so now we've got the D. It's about the same height as the B in Bros. Now we're going to put it on the same slant that the Mario Bros is on. And I'm just going to use the perspective tool to do this. So with the perspective tool, you click on it, and now we're going to drag the little corners to where the tops and bottoms of the D and the X kind of go right along that same line as the rest of the letters in Bros. And I probably should have did this keeping DX as black so you guys could see it a little better, but we're doing things a little quick and dirty here. To position our DX on the same kind of line as Bros is on, I'm just going to use our path tool to create a path that goes along that bottom edge of the letters in Mario Bros. And I'm just extending that out, and we're going to lay the DX essentially on that line. And I don't really like the spacing between the D and the X. It's just a little too far apart, and there's a way you can adjust that using the text tool before you start using the other perspective tools and things like that. You can actually adjust that spacing, but I didn't do that. So rather than start again from scratch, what we're going to do is I'm just going to cut out the X, and I'm going to manually move it closer to the D. Now, to just make it a little easier to manage when we move this whole logo over to our box, we're going to bring the canvas size back down. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to copy visible. We're just going to copy everything visible from all the layers, and then we're just going to hit paste, and that's going to create a floating selection. We're going to click that little plus inside the box icon. That's going to pull that floating selection onto its own layer. I'm going to turn visibility off on all the other layers. Now with that layer selected, the new one that we created, you go up to image and then you auto crop, and it's going to bring the size of it down. Now when we copy everything, it's only going to copy that smaller box, and it's going to make it easier to scale when we put it into our box image over here. Now we're going to use the scale tool, and there's a few ways you can do it. You click on the little boxes in the corners, and then you can click and hold on the circle to drag the entire image. And another way that you can scale is you can just use the little arrows next to the width and height dimension numbers if you need to do it that way as well. Our logo has to be slightly smaller so we can fit DX in here. And I just want to make sure that our left side is kind of lined up pretty much where the other logo is, and then our right side will pull the edge of that X to the end of the logo, and actually it would be lined up with our window there if we did it there, but I'm gonna pull the X to the end of the period on Bros instead. Looks pretty good. Super and everything's going to be a little lower than the original, but I think the distance on the top from our image window and above the Nintendo logo is about even. So that looks like it's about centered vertically as well as horizontally. So we're going to go ahead and hit scale. It's going to commit our scale changes. Okay, so now we're going to cover up the old title, Super Mario Bros, and the reddish one. So I'm going to turn our title off for a minute, and we're just going to use our fuzzy select to select all of the Super Mario Bros text. And then we're going to grow that selection by probably just 1 pixel. And now we're going to color it black. And you can see that black doesn't match the background black, so we'll have to do a little different. So I'm using the color picker tool to pick the color of the black. And rather than go over our image, let's go ahead and create a new layer called cover-ups. Okay, so now we'll be painting our, not completely black, but the blackish color on our cover-ups layer using the paintbrush tool. And there you go. It looks pretty good, except we're gonna have to grow our selection a little more. Let's do 1 more pixel. There we go. Alright, so that's completely erased. I'm gonna get an official Nintendo logo, and I'm gonna do a color picker to see what shade of red it actually is, and the entertainment system what shade of yellow that should be, and we're gonna change it in ours to match the official logo colors. Okay, so we've changed our logo colors to match the official ones a little better, and I think that's gonna be it. That's gonna be our cover for Super Mario Bros. DX. Hope you guys like it, and if you're interested in getting a copy of this cover, I usually upload them to the Launchbox database. You can get your copy and download it from there. Okay, well, thank you guys. I'll see you next time.